We are turning our attention now to a trial that's in progress in Ohio for Paul Hicks, accused of drowning his wife in her car back in 2001. She disappeared after witnesses say she went to pick up her son that she shared with the defendant. They were estranged. 4 days later, her body was found in her car in a pond. And prosecutors claim that Hicks knocked his wife out and put her in the passenger seat and then drove that car into the pond. And it took 24 years before anyone was charged in this case. Let's pick it up with the testimony from a polygraph examiner, Mike White. He's the one who would have talked to this defendant back in 2001 when the investigation started.
You were using to question him?
Typically, you try to build rapport. You'll try to find a commonality and try to give a reason in the suspect's mind of possibly why they did what they're being accused of.
Are you trying to be his buddy?
You try to be their friend, yes.
Okay. Now, in doing that, do you sometimes provide false information to him?
Yes.
And why do you do that?
Well, there's a couple of reasons why. You blame the victim, even though the victim is totally blameless, because it justifies in the suspect's mind for the action they took. You try to find a commonality, even though you may not be able to find one, so they can relate, so you can relate to the suspect and they can relate to you. You'll tell them sometimes can embellish evidence because people confess for two reasons primarily. It's because they think it's going to be to their benefit or they feel sorry for what they did, but the overwhelming majority of people will confess because they think it's going to be to their benefit and there's an overwhelming amount of evidence against them. So sometimes you'll embellish the evidence.
And did you do that when you interviewed the defendant?
Yes.
Where did you interview the defendant at?
I believe it was at the Willard Police Department.
Okay. And when you did that, was there other people involved in the investigation there?
Yes.
And who was it? Who would that have been?
It's been a long time ago, but I remember Rick Sexton and Detective Dane Howard were there.
And who did Rick Sexton work for?
He worked for the Willard Police Department.
And who did Dane Howard work for?
Huron County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked State's Exhibit 12, which is a CD or DVD, and State's Exhibit 12A. I'll represent you that State's Exhibit 12 is a video that was created of the interview that you gave the defendant. Okay. And Exhibit 12A is a transcript of that interview.
Okay.
Okay. Have you seen Exhibit 12?
Have I seen that disc?
Yeah.
No.
Did I show it to you in the?
I saw it. Yes, we did.
In the Huron County Prosecutor's Office.
Correct.
Okay. And is it a true and accurate copy of the interview that you gave the defendant?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I play the recording?
Subject to what we've already discussed, Mr. Rich?
Excuse me, Your Honor?
Subject to what we already discussed?
Correct.
Can they play? All right.
So the recording opens at 3 seconds, and when I refer to time, I'll be referring to the time. I know it's difficult to see. Right here.
Yeah, he's here. Okay. We'll get going here, but let me explain to you just a little bit what was going on.
Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording at 13 seconds. What has just happened in the recording?
I'm sorry?
For the record, what has just occurred?
Paul Hicks is there, and I'm beginning the pre-test interview.
Okay, and where are you at?
I'm at the Willard Police Department.
Okay, and are you in an office, in a conference room?
I'm in an office.
You know whose office it was?
No.
They brought me in to to conduct some polygraph examinations to eliminate people as potential suspects. Mr. Name again, what is it called? Paul. My name is Mike White, and have you ever taken a polygraph examination before? Okay, first of all, I guess I'm going to ask you, are you willing to take the examination?
Yeah, I want to ask you something though.
Sure, absolutely.
Does it matter if you've been drinking or if you're taking up pills?
Well, it depends what type of pill you're taking. What are you taking?
I think it's the number 5 Xanax for you.
Okay, now that's going to be okay. We'll go through a brief background.
Now, what did the defendant just tell you right before I stopped recording it, 49 seconds?
He told me he'd taken 3 Xanax and I think 2 shots of Jim Beam.
And was that important to you?
Yes.
Why?
Well, at that point, the determination was made that he was not going to be taking a polygraph, but I wanted to continue on with the pre-test interview to try to get information that could benefit the investigation.
And why did you make the determination not to conduct a polygraph exam?
Well, it goes against the polygraph creed, and also it would have invalidated any results that came from the polygraph.
What would have invalidated?
The Xanax and also possibly the alcohol.
Now moving the recording to 22:24.
Whoever called or contacted Detective Bracken, tell you that there was some additional information that they're going to share with you here tonight? Okay, you didn't hear any of that?
I know the funeral home contractor back home, that the autopsy's been done. Kind of curious to see what come back on that.
Okay. What's your understanding of what kind of scientific tests are to be done?
I understand they shave your head. I don't know why.
Okay.
I'm sure they took blood samples to see what kind of drugs is in their system.
Okay.
I don't know about anything else.
You ever hear of DNA?
Yes.
Okay. You ever hear of
How revealing is it to see a younger, 24 years younger defendant, Paul Hicks, there was in his early 20s at the time, sitting down with police claiming, I took some Xanax and some shots of alcohol before I came for this polygraph examination. Let's get to our break. We'll get back into that Ohio courtroom on the other side. Stay with us.
Tonight, on closing arguments, the jury has spoken and Brian Walsh has been found guilty of murder. We'll look at what led to today's big verdict as our experts weigh in.
Closing arguments with Vinny Politan tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
A Microsoft executive gunned down. Now his ex and her new husband are charged with his murder.
A social media sensation, now a suspected killer.
She wrote a children's book about her husband's death. Now she's accused of killing him.
Welcome back. We will go to Ohio in just a moment, but this just into our newsroom. We have more breaking news out of Rhode Island. We have new images in that manhunt that continues for a suspect in the Brown University shooting. Now, this was referenced at that press conference that we showed you earlier. These images that they now have of the suspect the day before the shootings, a shooting that left 2 students dead and 9 others injured. This is someone that officials want information on, and this is the video of him walking around the university, and you are asked if you recognize the person or have any information to contact the FBI. They have a tip line, 401-272-3121. Also, they have a place where you can submit those tips at FBI.gov. So we'll continue to bring you the latest there out of Rhode Island as that manhunt continues for the suspect in that Saturday deadly shooting. Let's get you back now, though, to Ohio for the polygraph examiner who was on the stand in the drowned wife murder trial for Paul Hicks. This is someone who interviewed Hicks not too long after his wife's body was pulled out of a pond in a car. It took 24 years before charges were brought against Hicks. Let's take a listen to what this examiner gathered from him.
What is the ozone atomic test?
That's a good question. I made that up. It doesn't exist.
And why did you make that up?
I wanted him to think that there was overwhelming evidence in the case, that there was scientific proof, and hopefully that would lead to a confession or additional information that could help the investigation.
Scientific proof of what?
That he was there and involved in the murder of Regina Hicks.
Amazing. Determines the time of death.
No, actually, that determines who was with her at the time of death. There's particles that are floating inside the car.
So you indicated there were particles floating inside the car.
Yes.
Was that true?
No.
Okay, and why did you make that?
Because I wanted him to think that we had evidence that would put him at the scene of the crime.
Now I stopped the recording at 23:25, and now I'm going to start again at 23:35. 30 seconds.
What's your birthday?
02/17/75.
Is your father living?
Yes.
What's he do?
He's retired Reverend.
Where's he live?
3332 State Road 103.
When's the last time you saw him?
Before I came up there.
How'd you get along with your dad as a kid?
He worked all the time, never was really around. Just on Sundays. That was the only day off.
That's not like my way when I was a kid. How do you get along with your dad now as an adult?
We don't talk a whole lot. I kind of think meeting now kind of screwed him up.
Yeah, it did that to a lot of people. Is your mother still living?
Yes.
What does she do?
She's really don't do a whole lot of nothing. Home housewife, I guess.
And are they still married?
No, they're not.
Okay, where's she?
She lives with them.
Okay, but they're divorced.
Yeah.
And did you see her just before you came up here? How'd you get along with your mom as a kid?
Good.
How'd you get along with her?
Good.
Both your mom and dad raise you?
Yes.
Did anybody else help?
No.
How many brothers do you have?
No.
How many sisters?
One.
You the youngest or the oldest?
I'm the youngest.
What's the exact date you got married?
December 16th.
What year?
97. My son was born.
First year you were married. How'd your wife get along with you?
Good. Everything was good.
Last year you were married. How'd your wife get along with you?
I don't want to say good. We just pretty much stayed together with my son.
So you have one son?
Yes.
What's his name?
Montana.
Where's he live?
304 Dale.
Whose house is that?
It was a house me and my wife was going to buy.
Okay, but who's taking care of him now?
My mother's house. My father's son.
So your son is 4 years old?
Yes. October 1st, he's been 4.
Get on well?
Oh, yeah.
No?
Great.
How did you support?
Pretty much. Well, not my wife anymore. Just my son, pretty much.
Can you help anybody else?
Somebody needs to borrow money. I loan money to them.
Does anybody help you?
No.
What do you do?
I work for the railroad.
How long have you been there?
3.5 years. And then laid off for the last 2 to 3 months.
When you worked there, how much you make a week?
Take home $1,000, $1,300, $1,200. All depends if I got a little bit of overtime.
Is that a week or every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
So about $550.
What do you like best about your job?
Different people I work with. I mean, it's never, one day you're working with this type of guy, next day you're working with this type of guy.
A lot of outside work out there.
Every day. Outside, never inside.
What do you like least about it?
Least? Kind of kept me away from my family. That's kind of what broke us up. Working long hours. There for a while, working 8 days straight in different states, and then I had 6 6 days old. Then I went to 4-3, and I worked 4 days in a different state, and I get 3 days off.
It's kind of hard on the family, eh?
It's real hard on the family, especially, you know, me, young couples, and kind of being here to take care of my wife.
Really create a lot of problems.
And kind of made her jump the fence a couple times.
You in high school, Branch?
Yes.
Where were you in high school?
I went to a vocational school where I graduated from marijuana.
Oh, okay. Well, Pioneer?
Yes.
What would you take there?
Took power book mechanics for 2 years, 1 year meat processing.
Were you ever in the military?
No.
How many times as a juvenile have you ever been convicted of anything?
As a juvenile, I was ever convicted of anything.
What is an adult?
The only thing I ever had was
Still with us, attorney and former prosecutor Randolph Rice. Randolph, we had to hit the pause button there, but do want to get your take on this polygraph examination being presented in court. This is actually very unusual.
Very unusual. You know, typically polygraphs are not admitted. And I think the reason this was admitted because this went from being a polygraph into just being an interview with the defendant, which you would see normally from any detective, because they never got to the polygraph itself. As you mentioned before, he had obviously taken some medication, had a couple of shots of alcohol, so that completely throws off the reliability of a polygraph. But like I said, this just shifted into an interview or, an interrogation essentially by this polygraph examiner.
As an attorney, do you have any concerns with that? Did he need to be Mirandized? Did he need to be told what this was? Or is it fair game because he came in willingly and knew that he was going to be taking a polygraph?
I got to believe that there was some sort of being Mirandized before this, that they've been advising him. Certainly when he comes in, he asks him if he's okay with taking, and he says yes, but there's certainly got to be some sort of consent given by the defendant before this interview started.
You know, I like that we were able to have actual video of Paul Hicks, seeing him 25 years ago. You're reminded of just how young he would have been at the time during all of this. Do you think that's helpful for the jury to see him? The defense didn't give an opening in this case, so they haven't really heard from not only the defendant, but they haven't even heard from the defense.
Oh, it's absolutely beneficial for the prosecution here to actually show what state he was in, how his thinking, what his behavior was like. So it's very valuable to the prosecution, but the defense can use it too, so you never know.